You're looking quite Parisian.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Pourquoi?
Did you just say you're looking quite pretty?
Parisian.
Parisian.
Oh,
And
I think
pretty.
you said
And
pretty.
pretty. That's what I am. I'm pretty and Parisian.
Vous avez le pantalon de volume.
Yes. With me. Oh, the massive. Anyway. So,
I didn't know you were bilingual.
I am. I'll buy something. Anyway,
gonna say,
so
was a word for it.
I've been listening to, because I don't read books because my massive dyslexia, but I do listen to a lot of books.
You struggle reading top tens.
and counting.
I'm quite good with subtitles there, but that's another story completely. But I've been listening to the audiobook of Dune, and what I like about it, not June, Dune.
Yeah.
What I like about it is it's quite unusual for a audiobook. It's almost got a full cast.
It's got a full cast, yeah. So I think I'm like 12 hours into it at the moment.
Very good,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's very good, but it is significantly different.
Yes,
to
but it's
watching the
hard
films.
not to see Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
As it's hard not to see the actors from the previous movie that we've had the last couple of years as characters physically, which I think is a testament to the film.
Yeah, the more you see it, the better it gets.
I think so.
Absolutely, 100%.
So there you go. That's my little story this week.
Awesome.
Shall we start? Popcorn Buddies.
Podcast.
Week
27.
27.
Date.
Buka shakalakala.
Don't
It's
ask.
Thursday, the 2nd of...
You gave him a clue. You whispered in his ear. You can't
No
do
one
that.
heard it.
It's Thursday, the 2nd of May.
In May.
I know.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's epic. I think it's more crazy that we've done over 6 months of this podcast than the fact it's
But
May.
we've coped for more than 6 months.
Yeah. There's some commitment, isn't it?
It's committed, I think is the other word for it, maybe.
Anyway, well, we are the Popcorn Pundits.
Welcome.
Yes, who are you? Why
Welcome
are
to the
we
Popcorn
here?
Pundits. We are a trio of film lovers. That's good, isn't it?
Very good.
Yeah. We are a trio of film lovers, and we are encouraging you to go to the cinema, to stream fantastic movies, and just watch films that you wouldn't usually watch. I think that's going to be my mantra now.
Well, we're pretty much seeing all of them.
Yes.
I think Nicky was saying earlier on that we've seen 7 out of the top 10 at the moment, which
Which is good.
that's a pretty good
That's
stat.
not a bad
Yeah,
innings,
and I think
is
there's
it
probably
really?
at least one more on there which I'm intending to go and see.
So we're here to explain what's going on at the cinema at the moment.
And who are you?
I'm
just about
James
to say.
Michael Mulcrone.
And I'm Peter James Ongar.
And who are you?
Nikki.
Thatcher Smart. So, yes, and how many films have we seen this year so far?
It's nearing 40.
Off the top of my head, it's about 40.
About 40 films. So if anybody's going to give a point of view about films, we are possibly the best
Well, it's going to
people
be
out
you,
there.
isn't it?
We're going to be the best people to give it a point of view. And we're going to be quite passionate about it, whether we like it or do not like it. And I like to think that we don't just promote films continuously that just for the sake of it. We are promoting films that we love, but also promoting films that aren't necessarily our personal taste as well.
Yeah, well, we do have significantly different tastes in films.
Very much so.
Also, I'd say that your film knowledge is significantly better than mine, and I'm kind of learning on the job. And yeah, I'm finding it very interesting.
Good.
The format is generally that we have a read through the top 10.
Yes,
And then we review the films that we've seen this week, of
That's
which
right.
this week there are 2.
there are.
And then every week you set me a piece of homework, which I watch at home,
You do.
and then we discuss.
We do. We do a debrief.
We do a
Good,
discuss.
good air quotes there, Peter.
And my understanding is that there may be a third party in our discussion about my homework this week.
There may well be. My Thunder buddy from Maidenhead has got in contact with us and let us know what he thought about your homework, but we'll come to that later.
He's
Stay tuned, folks.
awesome.
Yes, indeedy. Peter McPete, would you like to give us the top 10 in the UK of cinema?
So number 10 is Monkey Man
We saw that. We reviewed that week 24.
with Dev Patel, and
We recommend it.
yeah, he did a super good job.
Yeah.
Really, really great film.
Bish Bash Bosh, smashing all about.
Exactly. Number 9, June the 2nd.
That's right.
Week 19.
Week 19.
Number 8, I've
We
got
love
absolutely no clue what Spy X Family Code : White is.
I got really excited because I thought, well, maybe it's a Spy Kids film.
Yeah.
And they've but it's not. It's a Japanese manga film.
Hence all
It's-
anime.
Yeah, and it says a spy and an assassin keep their double lives to themselves while pretending to be the perfect family.
Oh,
It actually looks really good.
that actually does sound quite good, actually. Next,
Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
Yeah.
Week 22.
Abigail, number 6.
Week
Yeah.
26. That was last week we reviewed that.
We did.
That's right.
Number 5 is Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire.
Massive
was-
colon.
Week,
Massive colon.
week 23.
The size of them.
Week 23.
Week 23. Check that review out. It is exceptional.
Yeah,
review,
if you're thinking about watching that film, check the review out first. I think that'd be my
Definitely.
advice.
I
It
agree
would
with you
save you
completely.
2.5 hours of your life.
Yes.
Number 4 is Civil War.
Absolutely.
I got it
Check
wrong.
out the review and figure out why Petey didn't like it and then backtracked privately.
Only
Week
person on the
25.
planet that didn't like
That
it.
wasn't last week, that was the week before.
That's right.
Number 3 is Kung Fu Panda. Kung Po Chicken. No, Kung Fu Panda 4.
That's right. I've never seen any of the Kung Fu Pandas.
Okay, maybe that's your homework for this week, James.
Maybe. What, all 4 of them?
Well, just let's start with one.
At least, I was going to say, yeah.
We're not sure that you'd make it
Okay,
two.
I might slip it in on a Sunday morning. Me and Jack Black.
And,
Hey.
and after that, you can watch Kung Fu Panda 1.
That's right.
Number 2 is Back in Black.
It is, which we still haven't seen.
Yeah, I was going to see it this week, but it's been a bonkers week. I'm sorry,
There's
super
been mixed
busy.
reviews about it out
We
there.
keep being
so-
invited up to London, and it's just lardy
so popular now.
da. I know, it's unbelievable. And number 1 is Challengers.
Which we reviewed last week.
We reviewed last week, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Which I watched somebody else's review about it this week.
Yeah.
And I
You can say who it is. We're not going to get... We're not
Komodo was his name.
Mark
Komodo and
yeah.
Simon...
Mayodo.
Simon Ketchup. Anyway, so... and he really liked it. In fact, he actually put it above Bones and All and Tell Me By Your Name. We don't like him. He's wrong. He's a wrong one.
Well, that's really interesting, because, I mean, I've always been quite a fan of Commode. I think he could
Love his hair.
reviews pretty well. I'd love anybody's hair, but
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a bit empty and a bit shallow for him, to be totally honest with you.
Me
but-
too. He loved it. I mean, it got to the point where even, do you know when I had my little rant about the storm?
Yeah.
Okay, he loved that bit. He turned and said, okay, admittedly, yes, it was a little bit in your face by the fact that it was a stormy relationship and they put him in a storm and there's a stormy moment in their lustful moment and there was physical storm there and yes, it was a little bit in your face. And I was thinking, no, I'm sorry, but that's two-dimensional. Cob's bollock.
We didn't even mention the unnecessary, gratuitous male flaccid penis shots in the changing room.
No, that's very true.
We didn't even get onto that last week.
No, but we've seen better in Saltburn, haven't we?
Absolutely. Should we move on?
Shall we move on? Let's move on. That's your top 10. So we're recommending a handful of films from that top 10. Monkey Man, June, maybe Ghostbusters. Civil War, definitely. And, yeah, that's about it.
Right, James, what did we go and see this week?
Well. What night was it? Was it Friday night?
No,
It was a Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Sunday night, we went to see Boy Kills World, which is not technically in the top 10 at the moment. Do you notice that?
Did we see that as a... It wasn't a preview,
wasn't
was
a
it?
preview.
No.
No, not at all.
It's
It's an
out
18.
and about.
It's an 18 movie. I think she's just literally just been released, but I think it's going to be very similar to Monkey Man, where it's literally just got one screening per night.
Has it?
Yeah.
It was released on the 26th of April
Yes.
this year.
Wow. It's not going to make the top 10.
It's not, but it is. But I have to say, it's definitely worth sourcing out and watching. As if you like John Wick, if you like Monkey Man, and if you like all those, if you like The Raid and all those different films, you're going to totally love this film.
James, I don't mean to interrupt, but we're
Yes.
not scoring this film yet. We're reviewing this film.
I'm getting
first.
excited though.
Yeah, okay.
I'm getting excited.
Why don't you tell these guys what it's all about?
Well, it's Skarsgård, isn't it?
It's one of the Skarsgårds.
That's why
It's
he's getting
Skarsgårds.
excited.
They're everywhere. Who doesn't love the Skarsgårds?
How many Skarsgårds are there?
15,000 of them. They're everywhere. They've got a small town. It's called Skarsgård Town. That's what it is.
Awesome.
And they're all massive. Giant toilets. Anyway, so Bill Skarsgård, who's probably, I think he's the middle one. He's one that did...
Middle one of 15,000.
Yeah, he's one that did It.
Yes.
And I think he's also going to be doing Nosferatu, which is very exciting. He's one that can do this.
That's great.
With his eye.
That's
great
really
It's great for the
cool
podcast,
people
isn't it?
listening.
You like that? I do it for the... That's for the viewers at YouTube.
It's taken 27 weeks to find James's talent.
Exactly.
There's sibling-wise, there's 5 Skarsgårds.
Masses of them. Loads of them. And
Bill.
they're big chaps.
There's Bill,
Yeah.
Gustav,
Yeah.
Walter,
Yeah.
Sam, and Elja.
Yeah. And the dad.
Asia. Oh,
Yep.
yeah, and Stellan.
Exactly. So Bill Skarsgård, at his prime at the moment, really physically at his prime, quite frankly.
Ripped.
How old is he? Oh,
Bill?
Billy. Oh, Billy. Oh, how old's William? Anyway,
Billiam.
while our producers...
33.
33.
Old.
Yeah, don't like it. Anyway, so this to me is it's a graphic novel on celluloid. Simple as that, really. It's got the speed, it's got the pace, and it's got the in-your-faceness, it's got the colouring, and it's got the editing of a graphic novel, a very, very violent graphic novel.
And storyline.
And storyline as well, absolutely. Yeah. So we start off with Bill Skarsgård as a very young man, probably a toddler in his early. Yeah. Anyway, and he's explaining in this very dramatic, overly dramatic voice, because it's very relevant, but immediately relevant that he can't talk, and he's listening to his inner voice.
He's a deaf mute.
He is indeed, and his voice. Little fact for you, that wasn't necessarily. They initially screened it with his own voice, doing the inner voice.
Oh, right, okay.
And it wasn't received that well.
Because they explain why he uses the voice he uses in the film.
And I think they re-edited it, which is very, very clever. So they explain the reason why Skarsgård's voice is not Skarsgård's voice in it, is that he used to play a ton load of Street Fighter when he was younger, yes. and it's his childhood memory. It's the only decent childhood memory that he can hold on to is that Street Fighter moment. And obviously the Street Fighter voice is Player One.
Yes,
that's good.
And he talks like that the whole way through the
film.
All
the way through the film.
And importantly, he played those computer games with his younger sister.
Exactly. So this whole film is is an insight into an individual who's been pulled away from his family. His obsession with his younger sister, because he's convinced at a very, very early age that his entire family's been completely wiped out by Hilda Van Coy.
Yes.
Okay. And his entire life now mission is to train as hard as he can in a very Kill Bill sort of style. I mean, it couldn't be any more Kill Bill, quite frankly. To train to be this ultimate weapon to kill, and the name of the actress is, that's the F, by the way.
I can't read your hand right
No,
now.
nor can I, exactly. Anyway.
Frankie Janssen.
That's exactly so.
Yeah.
So she plays this cold character that the boy, Skarsgård, is blaming for her entire family being wiped out.
His sole reason for being is revenge
100%.
against her.
Exactly, and that is there's nothing else that matters.
No, so he basically we're kind of opening the world of him training from a young boy.
That's right.
In martial arts and physical strength and speed and agility.
But the chap he's training him is like the ultimate cliche in all martial arts training montages. Who's he played by?
Yayan Ramlan.
I thought so, yeah, exactly how I was going to pronounce it.
So it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got the cliche, the moustache, and everything is just absolutely perfect. If you draw in cartoons of this sort of scenario, that's exactly how it would be like. It's absolutely perfect the way it's set up. The production is absolutely perfect.
He looks like Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Massively, gigantically. So you're following the story of this young Skarsgård training, and the training is brutal. I mean, it's not nice. I mean, he's the way that his trainer is treating him is not very respectful in the slightest.
He gets the living shit kicked out of him.
Exactly. So you can see him growing up, and there's a wonderful moment when he transforms from a boy into the Skarsgård actor.
Yes.
And you see them almost training side by side, and then they almost hand the mantle over, don't they, in a very metaphoric sort of way. They go, right, your turn now. You're the adult now, and you carry on. So once Skarsgård, the boy, and he's only known as the boy during the whole movie, once the boy thinks he's ready to find Van der Kooi, he goes out on a mission to find, and it's just literally carnage for an hour and a half. I'm just killing everybody in his way in the most eventful, absolutely gore-smashing way that I've totally enjoyed all of the violence in this movie.
An hour and a half is gone.
Massively. And it's an 18
absolute
for
flash.
a reason, and it's 18 done well.
So when you said that right at the beginning,
Yes.
I was concerned that you didn't think it was 18 enough.
No.
But it is an absolute bloodfest, isn't it? It is brilliantly done,
Isn't it? Isn't it?
I mean, you said it's like an absolute Kill Bill.
Yes.
I mean, for me, it's Deadpool. I mean,
Yeah. It's all of them.
It's
It's all of them.
that type of violence.
Yes.
It's violence for fun.
It is.
And it's
It
great
is.
fun.
Yeah,
It's really good fun.
And exactly, it is. It's great fun. But what's beautiful in it, you can really see some fantastic homages to some beautiful films in the past. My son Jeremy. Our son.
Oh, bless.
Jeremy, he came to the cinema with us, and his first instinct was he pointed out a fantastic scene where Skarsgård is fighting this somebody who's almost equal in their fighting skills, and it gets to a point where some serious damage has to be done to figure out who's going to win this match between these two guys, because it's a continuous element of street fighting. That's all it is street fighting over and over and over again, and he comes across a worthy adversary. And it gets to a point where some serious damage has to be done. And so he basically cuts his arms off. And he cuts his legs off. And you immediately look at the scene and you think, it's the Black Knight. Come back here, we'll call it a draw. And they don't even reference that. You look at it and you think, that is what they're doing.
It's a mere flesh wound.
Exactly. And there's some beautiful things all the way through this film. Aesthetically, it is spot on. It is edited absolutely perfectly. The music and the special effects are absolutely spot on. You're not taken away from this story for one split second for the entire 2 hours.
And the storyline isn't complicated at all.
No.
But there is a twist towards the end.
There is.
And I didn't see it coming.
No.
And it's a beautifully written
Yep.
twist. Absolutely loved it.
Yep.
Now I'm quite surprised by your review, because when we came out the cinema,
Yep.
you seemed a lot more confused about this film than you are now. And I'm really pleased that you kind of settled on this side of the fence.
What I was doing was I was digesting all of the movie references.
Yeah.
Because there was so much. I mean, there was even obviously the layer that we won't go too much into detail is the relationship with his sister.
Yeah.
And there's a young actress that follows him all the way through this whole film, which you don't usually see in these sort of movies, where it's almost like a conscious, but she's encouraging him.
It was like the kangaroo in Chocolat.
Exactly, and she's literally just there all the time. And obviously, so she's obviously physically not there, but initially he thinks she's physically there because his brain is not working properly in the slightest. Now, another thing that I came to a conclusion was that what's really relevant is that during this whole movie, he is a boy. And that's the reason why he's called Boy. Mm-hmm. And he's a child all the way through this film. And yet he's a 33-year-old ripped martial arts killing machine with the mind and the mental capacity of a child, to the point where he comes across a plate of macaroons, and he's never had macaroons before. And he stops his gigantic fight scene and he goes, "Hang on." And he's tasting the individual flavours of these macaroons, and the joy and everything. It's just such a beautifully put together film.
Well, even in the subsequent fight scene, he actually manages to steal another macaron.
Of course he does.
And it's just like,
and that's where that Deadpool humour comes in.
Yeah. So for me,
yes,
the humour wasn't quite as classy as Deadpool.
Yes.
I think there's more humour in Deadpool, and I think
Yes.
the humour's a little bit better in Deadpool. But other than that, I thought it was really great.
Yeah, very good film. Very, very good film indeed. So I thoroughly recommend it. You have to source it out, and that's what I like about it. I like the fact that it's still technically an independent movie. It's still technically not on wide release, and it's still technically one of these films that people are going to sort of like come across it by accident when it's streaming, and they go, "Geez, that's amazing."
Yeah.
Hopefully. So.
Well, hopefully they'll recognise it while it's at the cinema, because it's definitely better at the cinema.
Oh, definitely. Boy Kills World, 18. Go and see it. I give it.
Dun, dun, dun.
8.3.
Oh wow, brilliant, really good.
What are you giving?
I'm giving it 7.5.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's like a good high 7, isn't it, Nikki?
It is.
The voiceover is perfect all the way through.
It's so well done.
Because it gives you that point of difference to other violent movies in the same genre. They're very cleverly being able to fit in that genre really cleverly, but also add some of their own flavour to it.
Well, it adds light. You need some lightness to that amount of violence as well, don't you?
Well, John Wick doesn't.
Yeah, but John Wick's not as good as this.
Yeah, fair comment. I agree. Absolutely.
It is a 7.9.
Good.
IMDb's actually 6.8.
Well, they're wrong
Is
too.
it? They're wrong. They're wrong.
That'll change when more people go and
It
see
will.
it.
I
Would
think
you
so.
like some facts?
Yes, please.
So Samara Weaving,
Yes.
who is known for Ready or Not, Guns Akimbo, and Bill and Ted Face the Music,
Yep.
was originally
Does that mean
cut.
she's not known?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Does that mean she's not known? I don't know any of them.
Ready or Not, it's a fantastic movie.
Is it? Oh, that's
really,
homework,
really
homework
good.
for the
I
future.
think, yeah. She was cast as June 27, but she stepped down due to a scheduling conflict and was replaced by Jessica Roth.
Interesting.
And
Was she in Skins?
she may have been.
I don't watch that.
Do you know who was originally going to be considered for the role of Boy?
Ooh.
Oh, it's got
not-
Chalamet in it.
Not another. No, I think it's Austin Butler.
Okay, interesting.
Who was it?
Pete Davidson.
No.
Apparently so.
Do you know what? Though, in a weird sort of way, I kind of see that because he's got that slapstick thing going on there. But I can't imagine him doing the training. I mean, at the start of the movie, Skarsgård gets his top off, and even my son turned around to me and went, ripped.
And I was like, Jesus.
Bill Skarsgård's real-life brother Alexandra Skarsgård previously also played a mute character in the film Mute from 2018.
Didn't know that.
There we go. They're your facts.
Didn't know that.
I was super excited to go and see this.
Yes.
I was not disappointed.
Good.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Good. It did exactly what we wanted it to do, I think.
100%.
Well done, Skarsgård and
Awesome.
the boy. So, next film.
Oh, what was the next film we went to see, James? It was a
Well,
bit of a change of pace, wasn't
there
it?
was a tiny bit of
Slightly.
change in pace.
However,
And we've got a local hero to thank for this.
are we naming people?
We are indeed a man in a very fetching salmon pink velvet jacket
Yes.
invited us to London.
Mr. Russell Harper
Thank you very much, Harper family, and especially Russell.
and the Mad as Birds production company.
That's right. Yes, they were. Yes, we were
they
very
were
impressed.
responsible for our invitations. They basically produced executive producers on a film called The Almond and the Sea Horse.
That's right. Which was previously released in 2022.
There was, so we're discussing why there are two release dates, and apparently post-COVID it was released to the airline companies
That's
to
correct.
show on flights.
That's right.
And then when they realised that there was a good opportunity for this to be released properly, they withdrew that contract from the airlines
Yes.
and then basically decided to do a proper release. So
Absolutely.
this film stars Rebel Wilson,
That's
and
right.
she came over to the UK for the
And
premiere.
Charlotte
yesterday.
Gainsbourg.
Yes. Yeah. Beautifully said.
I have to say it like that.
Wow.
It's important.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So in a very, very different change of pace.
Yes.
And having a film with Rebel Wilson in it, you automatically kind of think about slapstick comedy.
Very
and,
much so.
And it's not that at all.
Like you think of Bridesmaids, that sort of humour,
yeah,
aren't
exactly.
you, really?
This isn't. There is humour in this film, but
It's a lot more real.
Yeah, this is a film about brain injury and the mental effects that it has on the people that have suffered these injuries, and most commonly it's short-term memory loss.
Absolutely.
Which basically means that they can't function in day-to-day life, and those conditions are normally degenerative and they get worse over time. The NHS doesn't have the manpower or the capacity to look after them, so they end up being looked after by their families
That's
or
right.
partners.
That's right.
And it's a really, really heartbreaking subject.
It is.
And it's actually quite a difficult subject to watch and to take on board and not get very emotional about. But I felt this was done very, very elegantly.
It was very respectful, I thought, and also it didn't whitewash over the dark element of it,
No.
but it also highlighted some light in it as well, which I thought was
Absolutely,
beautiful.
because there has to be a degree of comedy in some of this. So basically, we follow two couples through this.
That's right.
And one of the
Both
couple-
affected by this
the
issue.
same issue, but caused by two different reasons. One was a car accident,
That's right.
and one was through a brain tumour.
That's right.
But they both have very, very similar symptoms. One of the relationships is dealt with in a very, very somber, serious way.
That's right.
And Rebel Wilson's relationship with Joe, who's that was written by was played by Kel Jones, who was also one of the directors of this and also one of the writers of this.
That's right.
Was done in a slightly more comedic way, and Joe was the character that had the brain tumour and really didn't recognise the fact that there was anything wrong with him, and basically Rebel kind of helps him out by leaving notes and recordings and everything for him, just
reminders continuously.
Exactly right. Yeah. So in that kind of memento kind of idea of just having no memory or no recollection of anything.
That's right. And you've got these you've got these two relationships. Going in a certain direction, and they're trying to figure themselves out, but they are bonded by the hospice that is helping them, really.
100%, yeah.
And the name of the doctor is Dr.
Dr. Farmer, and it's played by Mira Ciel.
Beautifully acted, I thought.
Yeah,
she did a beautiful job, and to me although it's a multinational cast, it's a very British movie. It feels really, really British.
It does, and also this film
or Welsh.
This film,
be careful.
This film was produced and filmed during lockdown.
That's right.
And one of the things I kind of felt going through the film was that you could notice that there was a very, very small cast involved.
It was very low key on the amount of people.
Very low key, and there was a lot of silence around the main action, which to start with, when I first started watching it, I found a little bit problematic. Actually, I found it a little bit kind of stark and a bit barren.
Yeah.
But actually, I felt it really.
It added a lovely pace to it. I thought.
Well, added to the emotion of it as
and
well.
I thought it was almost like there's like certain metaphors in reference to sort of silences and sort of like thought, because there were certain moments where each character was going through their. They were trying to remember, and all of a sudden they couldn't remember anything at all, or they were being transported into the past, and those were really quiet moments, I thought.
Well, there's a lot of there's a lot of reflection in reflection in this, isn't there?
Yes.
So Gwen is like one of the characters who basically had the car accident. And there's a scene where she is in this hospital, and she's in a hospital ward, and she gets up and she looks at herself in the mirror and is absolutely horrified by her appearance, because she thinks she's 15 years younger than she actually is. And that dawn of realization, which happens every morning when she wakes up, it's harrowing and it's really sad.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's a good film in many ways, but for me personally, one of the best compliments I can give it, and hopefully the producers of this film take this compliment. To me, it's got a semi-classic BBC drama feel to it, and it feels to me that it knows exactly what it is. It was giving across a very clear message about the difficulties in dealing with these issues, and not only that, but also pointing out that it's not only the people that are affected by it physically and mentally, but also their partners are incredibly, affected by this whole scenario. And even the doctor even turns around at one point. These are the heads I can't fix. Because and that to me was actually quite poignant part of the film as well.
Well, she's given some fantastic lines in this, and she basically gives a nod to the fact that she's basically being had a go at by one of the characters, who basically turns around and goes, "You don't know what this is like," and she basically just very subtly and very quietly says, I do.
Yeah.
And then it's
left.
It is.
And it's left, and that's beautiful, because it could have easily been over-egged, and it could have easily, she could have picked up a picture of her husband or something, or a boy, and went, if only he remembered me, or something like that.
Exactly
and that would have been, I would have went out of the excerpt by that point.
You would have done. But so on your point about it being like a BBC drama, I thought production quality was a bit higher than that. I mean, I am struggling with TV production at the moment because of the amount of film that I'm watching, and I do think that cinematic production is of a much higher calibre than TV production. I'm not mentioning BBC specifically, but just generally. Like I'll start watching a TV series and I struggle with a TV programme, whereas with a film I struggle much, much less, because the quality of production I tend to find much higher.
Exactly, palatable,
exactly. But yeah, so I thought this was a totally different film to the one we saw to Boy Kills World. But
and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. But a really beautiful thing. And so we quite often do the when would you watch this? I think this is a perfect movie for when you've had a shit day.
Yeah.
And I don't care what day that is, but if something's gone wrong, or you've just had one of those, God, today has been an absolute.
You feel a little bit sorry for yourself, a little bit melancholy to the point, and then you suddenly really see yourself. Actually, there is.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Because they talk about this as being a silent epidemic.
Yeah.
And actually, when you think about it, it's not really mentioned. It's not really discussed very often. And obviously, this film has been created to promote awareness of this as a thing. And I thought I did it really beautifully.
And what I really liked about the last couple of acts of this writing was that it could have easily went down a smolchy end, or it could have easily went down an Alan Bennett sort of way. It could have been quite barren sort of finish to it, but yet it didn't. What it did was it gave it a glimmer of hope of people becoming adjusted to this, not accepting it, but not fixing it. And that to me was a lovely message they came across.
So if you were gonna give any advice to the people who put this on for us last night, would it be that maybe canned water isn't the snack of choice?
It was like an avalanche, wasn't it? And it was a gift that just kept giving. Because I got the impression that, obviously, Peter and I were really, really fortunate enough to be invited to the preview in Leicester Square on the red carpet. Photographs will be posted, etc., etc., etc. We both look very smart, I thought. And if you out there have been producing a movie and you have been putting money into a movie, give us a shout. We'd love to come along and support you.
Smart.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, of course.
But you're right, and because it was a corporate event of some kind, there was obviously lots of goodies being left around. Nice little goodies, nice little goodie bags, and so on and so forth. But every single seat had a can of still water in its.
So do you know what the image I had in my head? Right, it's like when you have the Tom and Jerry cartoons, and there's a room full of mouse traps. Mice traps.
That's exactly, yes.
And then the light goes out,
Yeah,
and then you go tick 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 tick, and the light comes on, and then Tom's covered in mouse traps or mice traps.
Yes.
And that's the image that I had in my head when that happened.
It was an avalanche of cans being opened. It's like click 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 click. It was amazing.
A few went, and then everyone realised that they didn't want to do that in the middle of a really emotional film. So literally, everyone better open it up now. So tick 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 tick.
It was like dominoes almost.
But how do you know that wasn't part of the film and it was just the sound effect?
Oh, I don't. But Tom was stood there in the corner of loads of mice traps.
So now we're now friends of the stars, and but we give honest reviews.
We do.
We didn't
I
like
think
it. We
quite
would
an honest
say.
review,
I think it was.
I do too.
What mark am I going to give it?
What mark are you going to give it?
Yeah.
Am I going to guess yours and you're going to
Well,
guess
you
mine?
usually do the thing with your hands, don't you?
Okay. Well, I think you're going to give it a flat 7.
7.9.
Oh, wow, okay.
No, cause I tell you what, I was really. I love Charlotte Gainsbourg, and she's amazing, and her father was incredible, obviously. But I really liked was the ending. I love the ending was perfect for me for what film it was.
You're right. Charlotte was sensational in this.
Yes.
I thought Rebel.
Her partner.
I thought Rebel was good in this.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They all were. All good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Tick 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 tick.
So I've given it 7.3.
Okay.
And I was
Which is quite good for you.
Yes, that's a good score. And I think that's what I'm happy with it.
Good.
7.6 total.
So it's not technically out at the cinema at the moment, but go and see it as soon as it comes out.
We'll let you know when you normal human beings are allowed to go and see it.
Yeah.
Would you like some facts?
Yes, please.
So it was actually filmed in the Wirral Peninsula.
And also where Wrexham's.
In Wrexham.
In Wrexham.
No,
Yeah,
this
it was.
is up near Liverpool.
Yeah, but they did both.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the main bit was there. It stars Rachel, I can never say her surname, Adedeji, who is known by some people from X Factor, I believe the 2009 series. She's also been in Hollyoaks and Death in Paradise.
She was wearing a fantastic green coat last night.
You told her.
I did. How quick feel?
It also stars Meera Syal, who is very well known for the Kumars at number 42, as well as many other wonderful British things. And do you know who one of the executive producers were?
Russell Harper.
You may have seen them there last night. I don't know if they were. And I am referring to them as they on purpose because I believe that's how they refer to themselves now.
Who was that?
It was Eddie Izzard.
No!
Apparently so. Apparently Eddie
I would have
Izzard,
known if Edwin Izzard was there, I would have been
Apparently Eddie Izzard is down as one of the executive producers.
They were not there.
there. No,
They weren't?
They weren't
No.
there.
Oh,
They
okay.
were not there.
That's
But
a
I'll tell you who
shame.
was there, though. The ex-lead singer for the Super Furry Animals,
Yes.
which I was in awe of.
Griff Rhys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was he?
I was so excited when I saw him. And I've got a
That's
photograph taken with him.
amazing.
He was
And,
great.
Could you just remind us again who it is that we're thanking, the production team?
Thank you so much, Mr. Russell Harper.
Mad as Birds.
Yes,
Mad
and Mad
as
as Birds
Birds.
production company.
And if you want to see those pictures of these two on the red carpet, head over to the Instagram page.
You got it. You got it.
It was a great night.
It
Wasn't it?
was a great night. So, there you have it. Top 10 done. 2 films done. What's the next chapter, Mr. Peter?
Well, what we do next is we're going to discuss my homework.
We're not. We've had some reviews in
Tell us.
from Lawrence.
Oh, no, Lawrence has reviewed his homework.
Yeah, but he's also reviewed Zone of Interest.
Oh, he has indeed.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
let's do
He
that.
has.
Yes, let's do that.
So, yes, he has reviewed your homework, which we will play in a bit.
Yes.
But he said he also watched Zone of Interest last night on Amazon, a family movie, as in film about a family.
No, yeah.
with a horror soundtrack which was loud. So I think he enjoyed it.
Yes, I have to say, when I watched that movie on Saturday night, I knew I was in the right place within the first 3 minutes of the film. Because it was a black screen for almost 5 minutes. You've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
And the noise and the sound is just so enveloping. You immediately get drawn into that black screen, and that's it, you're there. It's absolutely... It's terrifying, but also brilliant.
It's like watching two films overlapping each other.
Yeah.
It is the most... Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, next.
That's it, because we're going to do Peter's homework, because the other review is Holy Motors.
I think you should. I've listened to Lawrence's review, and I think you should play Lawrence's review before Peter's review.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
No, I'll explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let
So-
me volume up. Are you ready?
Actually, no.
Ooh.
Actually, no.
He's put.
Okay. Ooh, he's putting his
Because-
foot down.
Because I don't actually have a review for this film.
Silence goes across the screen.
So, you sent me the homework of watching Holy Motors,
I did.
which is a rental on Prime.
That's right.
I don't know what it's about. I just haven't got a clue. I literally...
You watched it though.
I've watched it, yeah,
Yes.
I watched it, literally,
Yeah.
the whole way through. And I have...
You saw Colin over there.
Yeah, I even Googled what's this film about, and,
And nobody knew.
The internet doesn't know what this
Yeah,
film's
it breaks
about.
the internet, doesn't it?
So I would also like to hear what Lawrence has to say about it, because I don't know how to review
I mean,
it.
it's a road movie.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's
He's in a
not.
limo
Yeah, but
for a long time.
the limo's animated.
Yes, I know, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's real.
Okay,
Oh, like I
let's
said
go to
la-
Lawrence.
Like I said last week, it does have some very Drop Dead Fred vibes, in my
Oh no.
opinion. As in, like, it's like a horror version of Drop Dead Fred.
No.
No?
It's a lot weirder than that you would ever believe.
Okay, Lawrence.
Let me see if I can play this.
Afternoon, pundits. It's Lawrence here. Take the challenge of watching Holy Motors. I've been waiting for James to put this on Peter's homework list for a while, and what a film it is. I rewatched it with a little bit of trepidation. I watched it this morning, Sunday. I was thinking of Peter watching it on a Sunday as well, and his kids kind of walking in and seeing him watch it, because there are some quite, how shall we say, sort of special scenes in this film. I mean, the standout for me amongst a whole bunch of craziness is the guy running around with the green suit on in the cemetery, eating the flowers and kidnapping the model. And yeah, that is one of many scenes, but a particular highlight, I guess, from the penultimate scene when our sort of hero here, Oscar, kind of goes home. But bit hard to talk about without giving away too many spoilers, but really glad I rewatched it. Thanks for putting it on the list, James, and fascinated to hear what Peter thinks of it. Keep up the good work, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, Lawrence. And there is
Surely that's kickstart something for you. Surely you're going to be able to highlight one or two of your favourite or least favourite Peter in the film.
Yeah, so my son walked in when I was watching the stop animation section.
Just as Lawrence wished.
which is
It's a film of many layers.
yeah. So basically, this film starts off with a middle-aged man in a beautiful white rendered house.
Yes.
On the outskirts of Paris with his family, and you're kind of given the idea that he's a businessman that maybe has a business that the general public wouldn't be particularly fond of.
Yeah, I know you mean.
And then he leaves his house and then goes to work, and he's driven to work by in a stretch limousine, and he's driven by this one lady driver who's very elegant, white hair, white coat, like really super cool looking. And he basically starts the journey by saying, "Cecile, how many appointments do we have today?" And she says, "Mr. Oscar, we have 9 appointments today." And he's just like, oh, as in like 9 appointments is going to be really, really hard work.
And they are.
It's really hard work, yeah? So basically, the back of his limo is kitted out to change his identity in terms of outfit, face, hair,
Sex.
yeah,
Everything.
yeah, the works. And he goes to every job as a totally different character. So, as Lawrence was alluding
Like
to,
Mr.
there's
Ben.
one character where he's this green-suited, naked-chested leprechaun.
That's right.
And he's running over graves with bare feet and the most grotesque toenails you've ever seen in the entire world.
They need a good sorting.
Chomping on the flowers from the on the gravestones, and then he sees Eva Mendes. Yes, Eva Mendes, modelling in the most beautiful gold gown you've ever seen in your entire life. I know. And the photographer is basically shouting, "Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous" at her. And then the photographer sees Mr. Oscar, and he's just like, he's crazy, like that, and then taking photographs of him. And then he goes, "We need him in the magazine." And then his assistant goes over, and then Mr. Green Suit Man bites her fingers off and steals Eva Mendes.
He does. He kidnaps her.
Yeah. So that's one of these stories. Every appointment,
And there's 9 stories.
every appointment he has. So I got to the end of this, and I was just like, James is going to tell me that this is about the story of a life and or something.
A butterfly.
And I was just like, I honestly have no clue what this is. But this has Eva Mendes, isn't it? In it, it has Kylie Minogue in it.
I know.
And I don't understand how it has these people in it.
I know.
But it is.
I did warn you. I said probably the most weirdest film I've ever seen in my entire life.
It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But I didn't not enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
It's weird because it's one of those things that you watch it and they go, I have no idea why I'm watching this for.
Yeah, but we've in the past we've watched your homework films, and some cases we've agreed as to why the film was made.
That's right.
And sometimes we've disagreed as to
Absolutely.
why the film was made. There was no reason for this film to be made. It's literally just for
for the sake of it.
For the sake of production.
Absolutely.
And the only kind of explanation of this film that I could find anywhere was basically that this is supposed to resemble life and walking through life, and how sometimes you just have to change something about yourself for something to change.
You got to adapt.
That's a horseshit description of what this film is.
I agree.
It is batshit crazy.
Yes.
It is.
The ending is superb.
It's a very, very, very interesting ending, which you wouldn't expect at all.
No.
Very, very low key.
Yeah.
But really,
exactly.
But really, really cool.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it's like one of those kind of post-credit clips that you get, snippets or whatever.
But they put it at the end of the movie instead.
Yeah. But it's really,
It's I can't remember how long it is. It's about an hour and a half. It's not too long, is it?
It's long.
Yeah.
How long is it, Nikki?
It is. Let me have a look.
It's 1 hour and 58 minutes.
It's 1 hour 55.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
But and it's that amount of time, and you don't need to know the storyline, because to me it's 9 different storylines that don't make any sense.
Yeah,
And
so
they don't have to make any
there was
sense.
that TV series which was like Number 9 or Door Number 9 or
That's
something
right,
like that.
Yeah.
It's that type of thing.
Yeah.
So if that's your genre, this is your film. And I actually think that this film would be better watched a second time.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Lawrence enjoyed it much more the second time.
It's an onslaught, isn't it?
Well, not even that, because you're not trying to find the plot or the reason.
Exactly,
You're
it's enjoying the
you're
aesthetics.
just going to let it happen.
Yeah, I
and this
agree.
is a film to just let it happen.
Good. I'm so pleased you
Scores
watched
on the
it.
doors.
8.5.
Oh, it's 7 on IMDb.
Yes.
It's what?
7 on IMDb.
Oh, okay.
But it's what I like about it is the fact that something so strange, something so weird, something so off the wall is done so well. That production of it.
So I was watching
Yeah.
the model,
Yeah.
and I was just like, she looks just like Eva Mendes.
Oh no! And then you suddenly
And
realise,
that's Eva Mendes.
Exactly.
And honestly, when that happened, I was just like,
"Oh, this is serious."
This is a
Yeah,
serious bit of filmmaking.
it's not like a silly independent movie that just happened to be some weirdos as students. This is proper.
There we go.
Proper stuff.
It wasn't actually intended to be Eva Mendes, though.
Wasn't it?
No. So, I don't know how to say the director's name. Is it Leos Carax?
Sounds about right to me.
Wrote the part for Supermodel with Kate Moss in mind, as they'd already been willing to work together on another project that finally was not made. But by the time of filming this, Moss was about to get married and declined that part, which ultimately went to Eva Mendes.
Well, I think they chose the right person to second
And
time.
I do too.
it was the French director Claire Denis who suggested that Kylie Minogue was cast for the film. The part was of Mr. Oscar's love from the past of his own former girlfriend, Juliette Binoche. And according to Carax, they finally did not get along. So he rewrote the part and made it a singing part for Kylie Minogue.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah, sort it out. If you want something just to add a little bit of unusual viewing in your life and you've got a couple of hours spare, I'd recommend it, personally.
It's definitely a Sunday morning at 7 o'clock, isn't it, Lawrence?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And do you know what song is playing when Monsieur Oscar picks up his daughter
No.
from the party?
Isn't it Nick Cave?
It is Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie Minogue.
Is it?
Oh, it is, yeah,
It
yeah.
is,
actually,
yeah.
I can
So
remember.
a bit of clever casting there.
So, there you go. That's our homework done. Top 10 done and 2
Yeah.
reviews.
Tick, tick, tick.
Happy days.
All that's left
All that's left.
is for you to either make or break my Sunday morning.
Or Lawrence's.
I have a fairly new film for you to watch.
Okay.
I'm fairly confident you haven't seen it.
Okay.
It's a black. Oh, nearly dropped the lips in there. It's a black and white film. Mm-hmm. It is on Netflix. It's available at this very moment, and it is a comedy, stroke horror, but not horror in my normal A24 sort of way. So don't you worry about that, Mr. Petey McPete. It is called El Condor. Is it El? Mm-hmm. Yeah, El Condor. It is a story. I'm thinking the best way I can describe it is a little bit Mel Brooks, with that sort of element of humour going through there. There's one or two lovely little twists in it, but the commitment to this black and white vampire movie is perfect.
Fantastic. Is it an English film?
No, it's subtitled.
Okay.
Would you like to know the synopsis of it, or do you want to go?
Yes,
in
please. Just for the viewers out there.
Is a 250-year-old vampire now tired of his life. He wants to die at last after the disgrace and family crisis has ceased.
There you go.
Okay.
And it is funny.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Look forward to that.
There you go.
Perfect.
Is that us done now?
That is us done.
All we
done.
need to do is to tell people where they can comment.
Everywhere.
and-
We're
yeah.
all up in them.
So, if you'd like to ensure that you're up to date with everything that the Popcorn Pundits is doing, follow us on Instagram. That's Popcorn Pundits. You can physically watch us on YouTube.
And leave comments below.
Hi. You can listen to us on the move on Apple Podcast or on Spotify.
Yeah.
Anywhere you get your podcast, really.
Absolutely. I think on Spotify you can actually listen to us slightly faster. In our right loads.
Can you imagine us high pitched and squeaky?
Can you imagine
It's
it?
unbelievable.
I can.
Also on Facebook.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
Please comment. Please send us your reviews of the films that you've been watching over the last week. If you totally disagree or agree with any of our comments, we're happy to repeat what you've got to
going to
say.
say tough shit.
I did as well.
Brilliant.
I wouldn't do that. I'm far too nice.
But we do love your reviews, and we do
We
want to
do.
use as many
Yeah,
as possible.
I
definitely.
think so, yes, absolutely. Right then, that's it. I think we're done.
Awesome.
Week 27. Would you like to prepare us out? Popcorn Pundits.
Podcast.
Week.
27.
Thank you very much for listening.
I hope you enjoyed that.
That's
Fab and
okay.
groovy listeners.
I'll listen next week as well.
I stole your pencil and you got really distracted. I'm really sorry.
I was lost.